What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest chapter review for Star Strike It Rich, and this will be chapter 48. Going off on this chapter, there's a few key scenes, a few key elements to go off of. Number one was I was semi-completely wrong about how the fifth versus the second star was actually going to go down. It still seemingly is going to be off screen, but we did get the preliminary. You thought this was going to be a 1v1. However, I brought a battalion, I bought a dozen armed gunmen. And then the second star is like, bah, behold, because you might have tried to deceive me by bringing your armed gunmen. However, I brought 100 martial artist followers. So, and then it's a whole bit of a pissing contest between the two. It's like, you think your meat shields will save you? You think yours will save you? Let's throw down. Then we cut away. So, we still cut away, unlikely to come back until we probably see the victor. If we cut back to this at all, if we do, we'll see the victor of this, scenario. If we don't, which at this point, now that the odds are stacked against them, fifth star is going to win. If we jump back to that, if we don't, they're just going to hang that like breadcrumbs over us for a good long while, right? Until it's all seasoned up and then it's ready to serve, right? Then we jump into what I think is a very fun sequence. I love the fact that Nozomi is going over everything. She's in her apartment. She's thinking about, how this is all going to go down, how her fighting skills are now currently matching up against certain people, but how Hina is still on a whole nother level. If Nozomi is atop a C tier or something like that, or if she's a B tier, Hina is a whole tier above her, regardless where you put her. Nozomi's abilities, she recognizes that these people who are C tier, B tier, Hina's an S tier. She's top of A, she's an S tier, whatever, however you want to gauge that. So, going off on that, she's like, well, what can I do about this? Well, I can continue to train, right? And working with Karushi is only going to be a good thing. And I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely. We have had confirmation in the last couple of Kengan chapters that Karushi is an S tier fighter. So in the very male-dominated Kengan matches, pretty confident that Hina wouldn't hold toe against any of the S tiers in Kengan. So, training under him, while maybe will not make Nozomi Karushi, it's still, you really couldn't ask for a better trainer, and she brings this up. So that's definitely a good avenue to be taking. Hina, of course, shows up at the door. And it's, we have this fun scene. It's very comedic with the horror elements, still there. There was some, there was a little bit of sexual tension, though, I would argue, because Nozomi enters, answers the door, still sort of putting on her pants, if you will. Hina, sort of refutes that, rebuffs that, and says, you shouldn't really do that. You are a girl, you are a woman, even if you can fight, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't be answering the door half naked sort of idea. This could be a dangerous neighborhood. You don't know. You didn't even check who was at the door. And then she's all happy, sunshine, rainbows, jumps in the bed, and then with a look of either we're going to chain you up in a 50 Shades of Grey way, or we're going to throw down and make a bloodbath. Either way, the tone is the same for either scenario. And she says, Nozomi, we should do it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I think that in a sprinkling of a Setsuna way, she meant in a fight, right? In a fight, right? Yeah. Anyways, moving on from that, Nozomi takes it the other way, the non hot way. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, got distracted there. So she takes it in the very obvious, totally no other connotation whatsoever way of, she's ready for their match. She's dealt with the star thing. From what she understands, she's already dealt with the star thing. Star thing is over. Hina, come on. Star thing is not over. And Ray shows up to the apartment, and it's like, what on God's green earth is happening in my apartment? And then it's humor, sort of from then on out, except for, of course, Hina being Hina once again. Sort of idea like, oh, I can't wait and stuff like that. You and I, having a destiny, this fight will be so good and stuff like that, and it feels like a death scythe. And we get that visual representation over Nozomi. Very well done. Love the artistic choices here and the whole conversation. We have humor, we have horror, we have innuendos. We have a lot of great things actually going on in this apartment scene. We have a lot. We have strategy from Nozomi. We get inner monologues. So much stuff, right? Really, really a lot happening in this chapter alone. Then we jump over to the mafia boss girl. Always forget her name. And she's getting the report from Watanabe there, and they're just talking about, okay, I obviously have to dig deeper into this orphanage and figure out what the deal with the stars is, what the deal with the orphanage was, and stuff like that. And she's like, this is getting way out of hand, but I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, so I gotta keep going with that. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter. Now, I will say, I really enjoyed this chapter, as I said, because they jam-packed a lot of information in here. We get the Watanabe report and stuff like that, and how they're going to be digging deeper into Hina and Rei's past, figuring out what the Orphanage of the Stars is, what are the Star Children, what does this all mean, etc., etc. What connection it fully had with the Army of God. The Army of God seems to be just a pawn on the giant chessboard that is dealing with this whole star thing. We get Nozomi's inner monologue about how to get stronger to be able to face Hina, what she's going to do in the interim, because obviously we don't have a hyperbolic time chamber to make her, jump from regular broad to Super Saiyan, in a span of a month, but like, how is she going to appease Hina until then? Hina is chomping at the bit to fight her. So we go through that, we go through the horror elements, all the innuendos and stuff, and plus we see sort of what's going on with the 5th and the 2nd star. Now, once again, because the numbers are overwhelming, it just seems that the 5th star is overwhelmed right now. But I'm going to change my tune and say that if we do see this, we're going to see a bloodbath with the 5th star like sitting on the mangled corpse of the 2nd star at this point, with everyone else dead. Just this bloody, rooftop sort of idea, or courtyard, whatever it is. So that's my prediction on that one, now that we have more context and more information. But yeah, I really enjoyed the chapter. I thought we got a lot of great elements in the chapter. Honestly, one of the better chapters, realistically. 48 here has been just a really good chapter, because it covered so many genres while moving the plot along. It's really good. So anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you all back here for Star Strike It Rich, chapter 49. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. See you next time. Sayonara.